What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 29 deadline stream. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another stream. I think we have about 2 hours to go for the coming deadline. I think it's going to be a very interesting stream. I think it's going to be a very different stream in terms of what we're going to do. And I think before we get into that, hello to all of you. Welcome again. And what a week was last week. I mean, what a crazy, crazy week, crazy game week. At least I am so happy, so glad that it's over. Let me know about what or how you guys did in the last game week. I think it was a pretty harsh week for a lot of people. I think there was a lot of variance. There were a lot of 50-50 calls. And if you got those wrong, I think you'll be in a very bad spot like me. I mean, I started the game week as I think around 7,000, something around that. And I dropped down to about 20k. So I think almost about 300% rank drop. 20k is not that bad. I mean, still okay. I would have liked if we were at least in the top 10k. But massive, massive game week. Let's leave that behind. And do let me know how your game week went and how you guys did. And let's focus on what we can do now for this particular week. There are a few opportunities to kind of gain. There are a few things that we can do differently. There are a few upsides that we can chase. So we'll talk about all of those things. Welcome again to all of you. Make sure that you hit the like button. You hit subscribe to the channel as well. Please feel free to add whatever you want in the comments in the chat. If you want to ask anything, as always, if you want to check on anything, let's say any transfer suggestions, maybe any chip strategies, we'll also kind of deep dive into meta strategy in terms of what we can do with chips, etc. So that'll be very interesting. But make sure that you add as much as you can in the chat, in the comments, and we can get it started from there. We try to take and answer each and every comment, and that's what we are also aiming to do today as well. Welcome, Shan. Hi to you. I mean, I have really thought about FPL a lot this game week. I don't know, I'm sure you might be busy and might be caught up with stuff, but I mean, it was such a bad week. I had such a bad time, especially navigating through that whole longer week with double game week fixtures, especially when you're already almost about 200% in the rank drop. Of course, it's still a game at the end of the day, and there are multiple things, the bigger things that we can look into, but just a tough week. Hi Brian, hello to you, welcome to the stream. Shen, you took a -8 this week to James to Doherty, Havertz to Saka. Always planned this as Havertz was a 1 week punt, which was absolutely fine, and he did great. I mean, a lot of people backed Havertz. In fact, a lot of people didn't because of his minutes issue, his rotation. What are Chelsea gonna do? How are they gonna play and all that stuff? But I think it's a great punt. Could be a decent time to get off of him as well. I mean, not really the worst call. And Ramsey to Kulusevski, I think that's a huge upgrade. I mean, people were kind of saying that Ramsey can cover off Coutinho, and I don't know how people were saying that, but it's just not happened for Ramsey. I mean, yes, you did get a haul. Maybe if you got that haul at the right time, you did get some points. But Coutinho was absolutely class. I mean, so gutted that we didn't captain Coutinho. We went with a safe, boring, not even safe. I mean, the boring Salah pick, which didn't work out in the end. And Coutinho captaincy would have been a major swing for a lot of managers this week. So I think it's an overall decent switches, decent transfers. Team currently is now Ramsdale, Trent, Doherty is really good. White as well, who has a double game week, who has a game week in 30. Then you have Saka, Salah, Rafinha, Son, Kulusevski, Broha, and Weghorst. I mean, it's a decent team. I mean, even Weghorst against Brentford, who have conceded a fair few chances, who have conceded goals as well. That's not really a bad move to make, or that's not really a bad player to play this week. I mean, pretty decent. Broha, I think I've been hearing rumors that Broha might get benched. But again, right now I'm not gonna really give you uh, any sure shot information because I don't have any. We'll look into if we get something in terms of Broha getting benched, or if there's any truth in those kind of rumors. If we have any leaked information, leaked news, we'll try to get that. I'm not too hopeful of the Broha news at least, but let's see what we can get. Would you do this -4? We're basically taking out Ramsey, Saiss, and Broha out for Doherty, Kulusevski, and Dobbin. I mean, Dobbin is not really going to play, is he, right? So you're taking a hit. I mean, I know that you're getting in Doherty and Kulusevski who can very well match that hit, maybe even do better. I mean, and can give you really good advantage. These transfers would mean that benching Digne and Jimenez, and I can't do a 1 week punt of Salah to Son in game week 30. I mean, I don't really like the transfer Dobbin, to be very honest. I'm not sure what else you can do here, but I'm sure that's probably done to get in some extra money, which you don't have for a Doherty or a Kulusevski. If money is okay, we probably can even do, I think a size to Kulusevski would be tough. But a Ramsey to Kulusevski would be tough, but a size to Doherty could be possible, right? I think size is even, I think he's more expensive. So, in case, I mean, you can even do one transfer. You don't have to really take a hit because just not sure about Dobbin. He's definitely not going to play, right? So you're probably wasting a -4 or a -4 on a player who's probably not going to play. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably just do one move, especially if you have someone like a Kane or let's say like a Son, for example. At least one of them, if you have them, then I'll probably won't really jump to get on Kulusevski. He's a decent option to make, but not this combination. We'll probably try to figure out some other combinations here. 4 different transfer plans for me. Hey Stephen, hi. First of all, welcome to the stream. Do you prefer James and Ramsey to Doherty and Kulu, which is decent for even for a hit? I mean, it's pretty good. James and Rafinha to Doherty and Kulu. So basically, you're taking out Rafinha, which is fine. The other is James, Son, and Jimenez to Doherty. Kulu. I mean, I really like the last one, to be honest. I mean, you're taking out Son and you're getting in Kane, and you're taking a hit for that. Not too sure on the hit, to be very honest. I mean, I know a lot of people would say that Kane is probably going to outscore Son by at least 4 points, maybe even more. So that hit might just be worth it. But I just feel Kane to Son. I mean, if you already have Son, I won't really rush to get in Kane. I mean, I don't have to. You can cover Kane off with the Kulusevski move as well, and the James and Ramsey to Doherty and Kulusevski. I think that's really looking good. Ramsey to Kulusevski is a huge upgrade. I mean, we can't even understate the importance of this upgrade because the Aston Villa players or the perfect asset to own from Aston Villa right now, even if they have tough fixtures, has to be Coutinho. I mean, he's just class, right? So the upgrade is massive. James is probably not going to play. He's not going to play this week. He could even miss 31 with Champions League games as coming as well. I mean, there are chances that he might get rested in those games as well. He might not be preferred in the Premier League, considering that Chelsea might not have a lot to play with or play for because they cannot reach the top two. And I think they're decently far ahead in terms of the battle for the 4th position. And I think that they're secure in 3rd. So, I mean, it's a decent move to make. I'll probably go with the first option where I'll take out James and Ramsey to Doherty and Kulusevski. I don't want to take out Rafinha. My reasoning is that Rafinha is playing Norwich. I know Rafinha has not been great He was really bad against Aston Villa, and in general, that he had a very disappointing double game week. But you have that debate, you have that dilemma always, right? Whether you want to go with the informed player or whether you want to go with the player which has fixtures. Now, Rafinha is definitely not in form, but Norwich look like they've almost given up. I cannot see a way where they can keep up in the Premier League. They're conceding for fun. They have the worst defense in the league. They're the worst team in the league, and I think this is the perfect game for Leeds and Jesse Marsh to kind of springboard and start their new campaign, or their fight to survive relegation. So I mean, I really like Rafinha for this game week just because of how bad Norwich are. So I won't make that move. Which three will you start out of Rudiger, Raf, Broha, Weghorst, Jimenez? I'll definitely start Rafinha because he's playing Norwich. Then it gets a bit tricky. Rudiger against Newcastle. I think he's gonna start. He missed the last game, but I'm very confident. I'm feeling very confident that Rudiger should start this game. Having said that, Newcastle's defense, Newcastle's attack has been pretty good. They have been scoring goals. They have been creating chances, and they have generally improved a lot over time, right? So Rudiger is that a clean sheet locked in? I'm not too sure. Broha against Watford is a good game. It's a good fixture to target. It's a decent player to target. But whether Broha is gonna start or not, there are rumors that he might not. So that's that. Weghorst against Brentford. I mean, it's fine. Jimenez against Everton could be decent because Wolves, did well against Watford. It was Watford in the last game. They did really well against them, and I think even Everton, right? Everton are conceding for fun. They are conceding so many goals, so many chances. I would probably back Jimenez to score this week. So if I really have to start three, Rafinha is for sure one. I'll probably start Jimenez, and I'll probably just start Rudiger over the others. Weghorst, Broha. I mean, yes, they can score, but it's pretty close. My three would still be Rafinha, Jimenez, and Rudiger. Yes, I've been quite busy with your 12th class farewell. Oh my god, congratulations for that. Really, really happy for you. And I'm sure you'll be elated as well. How do you rank in order of Rafinha, Broha, Jimenez, and Watkins this week? I think I'll probably go with Rafinha first, just because of how bad Norwich are. Then Jimenez second, just because of how bad Everton is. Then it's a bit tricky. I'll probably still say Broha over Watkins. Watkins against West Ham. I mean, do we know that he's going to start? Probably. Can he score against West Ham, who have been okay? I mean, they have not been that bad defensively. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying that, they've been very bang average or dead average, but I'll still say Watkins last. So it'll be Rafinha, Jimenez, and Broha in that order, and then the final one would be Watkins. Which two players should I start from Jimenez, Coutinho, Willock, and Broha? I'll definitely start Willock. If you have him for the double game week, I mean, there's a good chance that you should start him because when else will you play a double game week player, right? I mean, of course, we're not going to play players from Brighton. I mean, most of the people are not going to play players from Brighton. I am not. I have two players. Now I have one player. I have Sanchez from Brighton, so he's not going to start. So in general, I think I will definitely start Willock, and I'll definitely start. I mean, it's between Coutinho and Jimenez. Jimenez is against Everton, Coutinho against West Ham. The fixture says Jimenez, but Coutinho is just a much more involved player, a much more a world class player. If you would like to call him, because we know that he can create, right? So I'll still take a chance with Coutinho and Willock. I mean, you can still play Jimenez. I mean, it's not going to be a really it's not going to go that bad. I mean, let's hope it doesn't, but I think it's probably going to be Coutinho, Willock, and a close third to Jimenez. But yeah, I mean, very close between Jimenez and Coutinho. What do you think, Coutinho to Kulusevski or Rafinha to? I mean, if I have to make one transfer, I'll probably. It's actually tricky. Who do you take out? I mean, I would love to take out some other player, but if you have to take out one, I'll probably say Rafinha, just because he's been out of form. Yes, he's against Norwich. He could still do well, but I think Coutinho is just a better overall player, right? He really, really ticks along and makes the players around him play really well. I mean, Rafinha is doing something similar with Leeds as well, but I just trust Coutinho a bit more. So if I have to do that move, I'll probably do it for Rafinha, and I'll keep Coutinho. Who to play, Jimenez and Coutinho? Again, that same argument, right? I mean, it's so close because Jimenez is playing, a weaker opposition. Coutinho is the man in form. So who do you go for? Do you go for the player who's in form, or do you go for the player who has a great fixture? I think I'll back Coutinho just because he's been in form. Though my assessment of Rafinha is a bit different. I was just mentioning that I would probably play Rafinha in general if there's an option against Norwich, because Norwich are really bad, right? But I mean, are Everton as bad as Norwich in terms of conceding goals right now? Maybe yes. So it's very close, but for me, I think personally, I would want to back the informed player, and I'll play Coutinho. Van Dijk has COVID. I mean, yes, there has been news that there are Liverpool players who have suffered from COVID, and I think Van Dijk appears to be one of them, one of the players who has contracted COVID. So yeah, he might not be available. Let's just quickly see if we have something official. I've not read something official. Let's just quickly see if we have any confirmed news. So yeah, Van Dijk, Thiago, and Konate were all missing from training, and Klopp hinting that we have a few COVID cases. So I mean, you would not expect Van Dijk to miss training, right? So there is a chance that he might have COVID. Again, it's nothing official. I mean, it's not really come from an official source at all. Klopp has not confirmed it. Let me be very clear. Klopp has not confirmed it. It's just that they missed training, and that is confirmed. And that's why people are speculating that they might have COVID. So go by that information and then make that choice or make that move from Van Dijk in case if you have Van Dijk in your team. What to do with James and Bowen? I'm free hitting in game week 30. I will probably transfer out both, to be very honest. I think James to Doherty and Bowen to Kulusevski looks like a really, really good play. I know that you're free hitting in game week 30, so you don't really have to worry about fixtures or worry about teams who don't have a game in 30. In general, I think they're players that you would want to keep long term, and going with both, I think seems like the right play here. I mean, I would love to have somebody else, maybe like a Man City mid against Crystal Palace this week, because I think the fixture is really good. Maybe if you would want to do, let's say if you have the money, you can even do James to Robertson. That's, I think, in case if you're free hitting in 30, then you probably would prefer a Robertson in case if money is not an issue, right? If you can do that move, then I think it's a great option. Otherwise, we just go Doherty. And Bowen, I think, is in that price range where you would want to go to a Kulusevski, because getting in Coutinho now doesn't make a lot of sense. If you don't have Saka, I mean, Saka is also a decent option. He's a standout player. You're probably going to have Saka in the long run or for the long term. So irrespective of whether you're free hitting or not, you would want to have certain players carrying on or continuing in your team for 31, 32, 33, and so on and so forth, right? And I think in that case, if money is an issue, then Saka. Otherwise, you could do Kulusevski and that upgrade to a Robertson. I think those are really good moves. Should I transfer Saka to Foden for a -1? I'm assuming, okay, Foden to Saka. That's what I was wondering. Why would you transfer out Saka? I mean, Foden to Saka looks pretty good. If you are looking for a player who has an extra player or has an extra fixture in game week 30, let's say if you're not free hitting, this move is really, really good. If you're free hitting in 30, if you're dead set there, then I mean, there's a chance that you can take on Foden. Saka has a double game week. He's a standout player. I'll still probably make that move. I think there's a lot to gain, a lot to lose if you don't have Saka and he performs, which apparently I do most weeks, because I'm stuck with Martinelli here. But I mean, I think it's a good move. Antonio Bowen to Kulusevski, and Kane, or hold West Ham for game week 31 has. I mean, I'll probably sell it. I'll probably sell both. Kulusevski and Kane look like a very powerful combination. They have a fixture in 30 as well, and then you can start. In case if Kulusevski doesn't, get minutes, then you can probably ship him out and get in Bowen. Antonio, I'm not too sure still. I think Kane is a huge upgrade on Antonio, anyways, and he's also captainable. He's also a great captaincy option, an alternate captaincy option for most weeks. Let's say if you don't want to go Salah, which I think most of the people would in any case. But in case if you don't want to go for Salah, I think he's a really good option. I think Kane is a huge upgrade. So I would probably sell both, and then I can get them back or get at least one back from 31 or 32, and the weeks forward. Rudiger to Doherty, two extra fixtures until game week 30 for a -4. I think I'll do that switch. It looks like a good move. Rudiger's not going to play in 30. There's a chance that they might not get a clean sheet this week. -4, Doherty with the attacking upside. Rudiger doesn't really give you any attacking upside, right? He can, of course, he can score a goal. He can score a freak goal, like with a freak shot, or he can probably score a goal from a set piece, from a corner, but Doherty is just a lot better going forward, right? He will create a lot more. His XGI, which is the expected goal involvement, I think that's going to be way higher than Rudiger. So I think it's a decent move. Unpopular opinion, but I would prefer Kane over Salah as a captain option this week. I mean, I understand why you say that, and Salah's numbers have dropped. He's not scored in open play in now 4 fixtures, and Kane looks really good. But it's just that with Salah, you can still be certain that he's probably going to perform and he's probably going to score, right? Tottenham and Kane, not Kane, I would say probably Tottenham are so unpredictable and not dependable that one week they might really outdo a lot of some really strong teams. Next week they might just plateau and they might just hit rock bottom, right? Which they did, which they have done in the past games as well. Yes, the fixtures against Everton and Leeds, which who are the more probably the worst, at least the two of the worst defenses in the league, scoring 4 or 5 goals against those teams. I can understand that, but in general, I mean, you would really depend on Salah and you would depend on his performances, and he's been absolutely brilliant this season, right? Don't forget that he's been consistently performing, whereas Kane has now kind of gotten into that groove, and he's shooting a lot more, he's scoring, he's creating chances as well. So I mean, I understand that if somebody has Son, they would probably easily captain Salah because Son is still not very dependable. He gets substituted. His attacking numbers, his goal threat is not as good as Kane. It's not that far off, but it's not as good as Kane still. Tempted to captain Saka is that's a huge. I know I mentioned this in my captaincy post as well on Instagram. By the way, if you've not checked that, make sure that you check that out as well on our Instagram handle, Insanely Football. But in general, I think, yeah, I mean, Saka, you really have to have a big heart to captain Saka this week because it's a tricky move. I mean, a lot of people are going to captain Salah. So if you're just going to go very safe, it's just Salah all the way. Otherwise, if you have Kane, then I think Kane is still a lot better than Saka. Arsenal's fixtures are looking okay from a clean sheet perspective. Or they probably look better from an attacking point of view. So I understand why would somebody captain as Saka, but yeah, it's a huge risk. Van Dijk to Doherty for a hit. I mean, I know that there's news that Van Dijk has COVID, but I mean, would you take a hit for it? I'd probably hold on for some more minutes, some more time, maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, to see if there's any confirmation on that, because Liverpool does have the first game, right? They have a 6 o'clock game, 6 p.m. IST. So the deadline would be at 4:30, and we might just get some more information. So don't make the move just yet. If he's out with COVID, then probably he's not going to play this week. He has a break next week, so he might be back for game week 31 as well. But yeah, for a short term, for a very, very short term, that hit might be okay. But I just don't do it now. I mean, just wait for more information. Ramsdale, Cancelo, Trent, Madison, Saka, Martinelli, Son, Salah, Broha, Weghorst. Any moves that you would recommend for my team? I mean, I don't see a Kane, and I don't see a way that you can get Kane because you already have Son, you have Salah. Broha, Weghorst, I mean, yeah, I mean, decent, not bad at all. I would have preferred a Barnes over a Madison, but then going Madison to Barnes, it looks like a sideways move, especially when they're playing Arsenal. I know Arsenal's defense has been good, but Leicester's attack has also been decent. I would probably take out Cancelo, but who for? I mean, depending on how much money you have, if you have decent money, you can probably make that switch from a Cancelo to a Robertson. I think that could be decent for a week. Could still be okay even in 31, because Liverpool in 31 have I think they have Watford, and that's a really good fixture. City have Burnley. That's also a decent game, but I'll probably back Robertson to outscore Cancelo in that game in case Cancelo is fit. Whether he's fit or not, we'll see. Let's just quickly see if Cancelo is fit. Because if he's not, then you can probably make that switch if you have the money. If you don't, then I don't see any moves. I mean, they're not any priority moves that I would do for this team. Saka Martinelli could be a very good double up as well. And you don't really have to have Kulusevski in because you already have Son. You already have Doherty, so that's two players from Spurs. I think that's pretty decent, to be honest. Let's see if we have any news in Cancelo. Just let's see quickly. He's still flagged. Still ill, showing illness. Not sure. I don't think so. There's anything that confirms him as not playing for this week. But yeah, if I can make that move, if I have the money, I'll probably do Cancelo to Robertson. But so he doesn't have COVID, that's for sure. He might still play. I mean, there's a chance that he plays. Only if I can do the Robertson move, I'll do it. Otherwise, I won't. Would you captain Kane over Salah? I personally, for my team, I won't, but I understand the option. And I think it's a good option. If you are okay going a differential route, and if you are okay taking a bit of a risk, then I think Kane captaincy over Salah pretty much justified. I mean, it's a good conversation to have. He's done well. His XGI numbers, non-penalty XGI numbers, are almost as good as Salah, if not better, since Conte has taken over. And I think that's a good sign. He's on penalties as well. He's shooting a lot more. He's creating chances. I mean, it's a decent move to make. It's just a bit too risky for me because I know a lot of people are gonna triple captain Salah this week. They're gonna captain Salah, so his effective ownership is probably gonna be in and around that 200%. And if I don't captain Salah and if he really does well, I'm probably gonna lose out on a lot more than I'm gonna gain with Kane, right? I know it's a defensive strategy, but it's just basically protecting your rank. Liverpool defense looks weaker now, even more tempted by Saka captaincy. I mean, I understand Matip, Fabinho, or I mean Gomez could play there. I'm not sure if Gomez is out. I think Gomez could definitely play in that Liverpool backline. Yeah, with Konate out, with Van Dijk out, let's say with COVID, is Gomez also missing from training? I'm not sure. Let's just quickly see if so who all were missing from training. Yeah, it was Thiago. So I mean, yeah, it's a weaker defense for sure, and I'll probably take a chance on Saka. I mean, I'm famous last words, but yeah, could be very difficult. What's your plan for Gaming 30? Free hit or transfer a Leicester mid? My plan is to transfer in a Leicester mid. And of course, not use the free hit chip. I only have one free hit chip available now, and I'll probably use it in 33, maybe even 36. Let's see. But I'm thinking of getting in a Leicester mid. I would have loved to get in on Barnes, but I don't have the money, and that's an issue. So I might have to take a hit, might have to get rid of an Adams or a King. But who do I get in? Because I cannot get Lacazette, of course. He's more expensive. I cannot even get to a Jimenez, no chance. I cannot get Watkins. So there are not really a lot of options. I can probably get to a Tony, but do I really need Tony? Ivan Tony from Brentford. The fixtures are okay. Fixtures are not that bad. But yeah, I mean, I probably would have to go for Madison, and I'm not sure of whether Madison's gonna start every game. I think Barnes is a lot more nailed than Madison at the moment, and I think he's probably gonna get more minutes. He's a lot more direct. He has better goal threat, better goal numbers, has a higher chance of scoring over Madison, who looks like a more creative player, right? He's more involved in the game. His XGI as compared to Barnes, I think, would be a lot more. He has more assist potential as well, but he's just not getting enough starts. Though the plan is to get a Leicester mid, but I mean, struggling to get to a Barnes. So let's see. We might get more information. Somebody might get injured. Something might happen. Or I can even do a Kulusevski move, but it just feels. Yeah, I mean, who do I take out? I can take out Willock. Kulusevski, I think, won't come in that. I have 6.2. Kulusevski right now is, I think, 6.3, if I'm not wrong. 6.2. So I have the exact money, and I don't think so. That's gonna happen. I think Kulusevski, if he performs really well this week, I think his price is gonna go up. Bring in Kulusevski or Son. Need to take an extra hit to bring in Son. I mean, I would probably take Kulusevski in. The numbers are not that bad for Kulusevski. I think Son is a greater asset. I mean, there's no comparison. It's an unfair comparison between a Son and a Kulusevski because Kulusevski is so cheap, right? Yes, he's playing across the same position as a midfielder in the game, but I mean, there are chances that Kulusevski could start both games. High chances of that happening. Son is getting subbed in general in games. Kulusevski is lasting 90 minutes or almost as close to 90 minutes. And if you need to take a hit for Son, I mean, I'll just do Kulusevski. Do you think it's worth saving the triple captainship of future double game weeks? I mean, I understand the temptation of using it this week, and it looks like a good week for Liverpool. But now with the defense getting weakened, I'm not, I'm not 100% sold. Now it's probably 80-20. I was 100% on triple captain Salah this week. See, the thing is that Leicester has a few games to be rescheduled. Burnley has a few games. Everton has a few games, but you won't triple captain from these teams. Absolutely not. You might get a decent double game week for City across 36, where they play. Let's just quickly see who they play in 36. Yeah, so Man City is playing Leeds, Newcastle around that time, and they could have an extra fixture in there as well. It's probably going to be an easier game, but can you really trust Man City assets first? Definitely not. Would you know what's going to happen till then? If City has won the league, there could be even more rotation. You would not probably get that triple captaincy, right? So might as well just play it this week. Salah is still a decent option in my opinion. Would you play Ramsdale or Lloris? I mean, both have tougher fixtures from a defensive point of view, but I think Lloris just probably has slightly better fixtures. So I'll probably just play. I mean, Lloris also doesn't really give you a lot of save points, right? So with Ramsdale, at least with teams who like shooting a lot, who will take a lot of shots, I mean, you can get save points, which I think you won't be getting from a Lloris. Yeah, I mean, he's a six or a 2 pointer sort of a goalkeeper. He doesn't really make a lot of saves. Fixtures are okay. I mean, Man United, Brighton, they're actually tough. Both away fixtures as well. But both teams are struggling at the moment. I'll still say Ramsdale, to be honest. I mean, yes, one of the games is Liverpool, but you just never know, right? And Ramsdale could just keep a free clean sheet, get some save points, come into the bonus points as well. I mean, that's a high possibility. So I'll probably just play Ramsdale over Lloris. The fixtures say Lloris, but Ramsdale just looks like a better option. Team this week is Dubravka, Trent, Robertson, Tierney, Doherty, really good. Kulusevski, Saka, Salah, Son, Rafinha, Lacazette, pretty decent. On the bench, you have Sa, Jimenez, Broha, Dinier, took a -4. Any of the bench players you think I should start? I mean, I would not start any of these players over the players that you've already mentioned in your 11. I think it's a strong 11. Yeah, I mean, Rafinha against Norwich is still better than Jimenez against Everton, Dinier against West Ham. Nah, I'll keep it the same bench and the same 11. Bowen replacement for a -4. I have Saka. If you already have Saka, I would not jump to a Rafinha now. I mean, Kulusevski is a good option if you're looking at that price point. I think he's a good punt to go for. I think a lot of people have hyped him a lot. He's also done decently well. So I mean, he's a good option to go for. Other than that, of course, you can punt on a Martinelli, but I probably prefer Kulusevski more than Martinelli at the moment. Not sure about how much money you have. Otherwise, Havertz could have been a punt, but he doesn't have a fixture in 30. I think overall Kulusevski just looks like the best option. Yeah, they're. I would not go for a Newcastle player. I would not go for a Mount, for example. Gordon is too cheap and he's probably not going to give you the same returns. So Kulusevski, I think, really stands out for me. Start one of Broha, Dini, or Saiz. I'll probably start Saiz against Everton. I mean, Everton have not looked that great. Wolves are a decent defensive unit. Saiz could even get a headed goal or something like that. I mean, I'll probably still start Saiz. Yeah. Start Broha or Mope. Mope has a double game week, but it's a very bad double game week. I'll start Broha. I don't think so. Mope. I mean, Mope. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. Definitely Broha ahead of Mope. Gaming 28, we had 36 points on the bench, man. That's just massive. 36 points on the bench. Yeah. I just don't know what to say there. Just unlucky. I mean, one of those weeks where the variance was massive. Saka for Coutinho or for Rafinha. I'll probably do it for Rafinha and I'll keep Coutinho. Kane or Salah captain. Salah safer option. If you're worried about ownership, if you want to play defensive, if you want to protect your rank, go Salah. If you are chasing in the game, if you are lagging behind your mini leagues, and if you want to do some catch up, if you want to attempt to do some catch up, then Kane is the more differential and the more riskier option out of the two. Should I captain Son or Salah? Among both, I'll definitely captain Salah. The only thing that is restricting me to sell Cancelo is that Man City play Tuesday morning. Ample amount of time to recover. Yes, there is ample time to recover, and he doesn't have COVID. It doesn't look like that he has COVID, but he doesn't have a fixture in 30, right? So you can always get him back in 31, depending on what your plan is. But in case if you want to hold Cancelo and if you have a decent enough team to field in 29 and 30, then absolutely fine. Bench one, Rafinha, Broha, Jimenez. I'll probably bench Broha out of the three. I'll play Jimenez and Rafinha. Yeah. Starting Jimenez, Rafinha, and Weghorst out of them three, and Rudiger and Broha. So what should be my bench order with Rudiger, Broha, and Digne? So starting Rafinha, Jimenez, and Weghorst, and then you have the bench as Rudiger, Broha, and Digne. I mean, if Rudiger is, first of all, I would probably not want to keep Rudiger on the bench, but if you want, I mean, you can absolutely do that. I'll probably say Rudiger, Broha, and Digne in that order. The same way that's written. Rudiger first, Broha second, and Digne third. Hey Thomas, hi, thank you so much. I mean, yeah, it's not their fault as well, right? Where they can't answer all your questions. I understand that smaller channels and people who have less followers or who have less people generally joining on streams or on any sort of live sessions, etc. They try to answer every small question, every small of your doubt. Bigger channels, when there's so many people, let's say if there are about 10,000 people on a stream, right, it will just get a little difficult to answer each and every question. You'll probably not be able to finish the stream in the entire day as well. So they have, it's a sad thing to do or a sad thing to say, but that's what they generally have to do. I mean, it's also not in their control. Reece James to Doherty and Madison to Havertz. James to Doherty looks like a good move, and Madison to Havertz. I mean, so Madison has a game in 30. Havertz doesn't. Reece James doesn't have a game in 30, and Doherty does. So depending on what strategy you have, if you're planning to play your free hit, then this is a very good move. Both of them are good moves because you don't really have to worry about Madison, and you probably don't have to worry about owning him at all. He's not even sure to start. I mean, I'll probably do that move. Both the moves. I think Doherty gives you that additional fixture this week. Then the fixture in 30 as well. Havertz could do really well. I mean, there are chances that Havertz can get benched as well. So make sure that you know the risk before you get this or you get Havertz in your team. I think the week to get him was last week. I mean, transfer, both of them could be easily benched, right? Madison could get benched and Havertz could get benched as well. So that hit might not be worth it. I'll probably just do the James to Doherty move. I think I probably, if this is a cash play where you're trying to get in cash through other moves, etc., then if you really have to, you do it. Otherwise, I'll just do James to Doherty. any other better options than Kane? If you were talking about captaincy, then Salah, of course, is the most safest option. If you are punting, then Saka could be one. If you don't have Saka in your team, then one of Trent or Robertson could also be an option in terms of captaincy. As a transfer this week, I mean, Son is an equally good move, but I'll prefer Kane in terms of the form that he has and the way he's playing. He looks like the better option to go for. He also plays 90. I mean, there's no chance that he doesn't play the whole game unless he's injured or he has some issue, right? Uh, so as a move as well, as a player as well, among forwards as well, I think Kane is definitely the best option to go for. Today's like the final week of the showdown of people who triple captain Salah in 26. I mean, yeah, Salah in 26 was massive, was absolutely massive. Versus people who wildcard in 26, still now, in my opinion, us triple captainers in 26 are winning. I mean, yes, if you look at the comparison this way, I feel triple captainers have an edge right now. But you never know what might happen this week. Let's see. Dexter is saying that you need help with the wildcard team and plans. You have Ramsdale, Robertson, Trent, Doherty, Salah, Saka, Gordon, Kulusevski, Kane, Lacazette. Is that Richarlison? I'm assuming that's Richarlison. Among the bench, you have Cody, Amarty, Ramsey, and Richarlison has differential only in Gameweek 29. 30, Richarlison to Wang. 31, Robertson to James. 32, Cody to Laporte. Gameweek 33 free. I like the free hit in 33. I like the wild card this week because it lets you not use your free hit in 30, and I think that's a really good move. I mean, the other transfer that you could probably do is that you can probably get you have Lacazette already, and I mean it's a decent plan. I think it's a good team to start off with. I probably won't really change a lot. You have the Robertson Trent combination, which is very strong. You have the Lacazette Saka combination, which is the core as well. Then you have Salah. Doherty is a good pick. Gordon is also a good option. Kulusevski, Kane. I mean, they're all really good options. Yeah, I mean, Richarlison as a differential is fine, but I'm not really expecting much from the Everton team. Having said that, you just might never know. I mean, they could really do well against Wolves, Newcastle. It's looking tough, right? As in when I'm saying this out loud, Everton against Wolves, who are a very good team defensively. Everton against Newcastle, who have improved a lot, who are on this great run of fixtures, great run of form. They're winning a lot of games. That he's the only option that I'm not too comfortable with. But then who else do you go with? I mean, you already have Gordon as well. I did see Gordon. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I'm going for a double up on Everton. Not too sure. And you're benching. You're not even benching Richarlison because, of course, he has a double game week this week. I mean, I understand why you want to do it. But who else could you play, right? You can play Rafinha against Norwich. That's an option. That would probably mean that you might not have to do another move as well. Apart from, like, in place of Gordon, you can play Rafinha and you can downgrade a Richarlison to a Broha, for example. I mean, that's also an option. But I mean, if you're okay taking the risk, decent option to go for. Richarlison to Wang. The transfer looks okay, but is Wang really nailed? Not too sure there. Not too sure. 31 Robertson to James. You don't have to do it. I mean, Robertson still has a very good fixture, but that's absolutely fine. 32 Cody to Laporte, I think looks really good, and 33 Fade. I mean, I'll probably do that. Yeah, I mean, if you're a manager who likes taking a bit of a risk, then I think it's a good team and a good plan as well. Like I would not, yeah, because I would not want to have Coutinho. Rafinha is the only player that could come close here, but rest looks pretty decent. Jota, yeah, I mean, I would prefer a Salah or a differential in Mane. I know Mane would cost a lot of money, so it might not be easy to get Mane, but not too sure on Jota because I still feel Diaz looks like the better player overall. And the trio that looks really good for Liverpool right now is Salah, Mane, and Diaz. So I'm not sure how much minutes Jota is gonna get. Whether he's gonna get, I'm sure he's gonna get some minutes because Diaz always doesn't really last for 90 minutes. So he's an alternate pick, but I won't go there. Should I triple captain Salah or save triple captain chip later? I'll probably triple captain Salah now. Not sure about the fixtures later. We don't have information there, and I'll just play the chip this week. James and Ramsey, Doherty and Kulusevski. I think it's a good move, even for a hit. I like it. Starting Trent, White, Rudiger, Salah, Saka, Willock, Rafinha, Coutinho, Kane, Jimenez. Bench is Saiz, Digne, Broha. Any subs transfers you suggest? So you have Kane, Rafinha, Coutinho. I personally like them for my team because there's a reason I'm playing them over a Kulusevski. I don't want to make that move. No, it's not that everybody is making that move, so I don't want to do it. It's absolutely not that. I just feel I would be taking a hit for a Kulusevski, who of course has a double game week. But I mean, Rafinha and Coutinho could easily haul in their respective matches and probably just hold them. I personally won't do any moves. I mean, I'm not sure whether you've already done your moves or not, but I mean, the bench is fine. I probably have Broha ahead of Digne. Yeah, I mean that's the only change that I'll probably make. Otherwise, it's fine. Thoughts on Gordon? Looks like a really good option. I think he's a very value pick. He's probably about 4.5, 4.6, something like that. 4.5. I mean, as a 4.5 million option, he's really good. Not really, you're not really investing a lot of money, right? You're not spending 8 to 9 million so that when he doesn't really perform, and because of that 8 to 9 million, you probably would have to make some sacrifices elsewhere. Let's say in your defense, maybe you're not able to get to a Kane, etc. But if this player helps you get to a Kane, to a Son, to an upgrade in any capacity, I mean, he's a decent option to go for. You can start him. He has 2 fixtures, not really losing out on a lot. Can score as well. I mean, there is nothing to not suggest that he cannot get a haul. I mean, he's gotten a couple of double-digit hauls this season. He scored 3 goals. So overall, I mean, considering the price point that he's at, don't expect him to really go crazy and then give you a lot of FPL points. But he's just not a very bad option to start. Or if you're trying to get him in, Everton has a possibility. There's a chance that Everton could get a double in 31 and 32 as well, and that could be a decent double game week. So you just might end up with an extra player, a very cheap 4.5 million option who happens to have a double game week when you have him, right? And that's delight. So I think it's a decent option. Is Lacazette worth a -4 hit? Taking out Joe Linton, Lacazette also has a game in Game Week 30. If you are not planning to play a free hit in Game Week 30, I think it's a great option. Whether he's worth a hit, I mean, he's okay. He's more creative than his particularly goal threat, out there. I mean, he's more likely to get you an assist, maybe a couple of assists, rather than score goals himself. And that's just how he's become. He's more of a support player to somebody like a Saka or Martinelli in certain instances. So yeah, it's a risk going for him because you never know how much you're gonna get out of him. But as you correctly mentioned, he has a game in 30. Joe Linton, not too sure. So I'll just probably take the hit. Yeah. Hey Savio, I hope you're doing well. Rafinha to Kulusevski and Watkins to Lacazette for a hit. I think I'll do it. Rafinha to Kulusevski, longer term looks good. Maybe not this week. I mean, Rafinha could just match Kulusevski. Whether he's going to outscore Kulusevski, I think that could be a bit of a stretch, but you just never know. Long term, this looks like a good move. Watkins to Lacazette for a hit, I'll probably do it. I think both are decent moves. I know Watkins has also having a fixture, so you're not really gaining an additional fixture with the hit because Rafinha also does have a fixture in 30, and for 30 you will end up having Rafinha and Watkins. Watkins is facing Arsenal, Rafinha is facing Wolves. I mean, on the other hand, you'll have Kulusevski facing West Ham. I mean, that's pretty decent. I think I'll make the move. Saka or Martinelli, if money is not a problem, then definitely Saka. Better player, more threat, more goal threat, more direct. Seems like the focal point of Arsenal at the moment. Seems to know what he's doing and looks really, really good, on the field. Martinelli is okay. He's a good differential. He's a good punt, but he's more prone to a substitution. Saka generally is expected to play more minutes than Martinelli. And I think Saka overall has to be. I mean, it between Saka and Martinelli, I don't think so. There's a conversation if money is not a problem. Gordon or Broha? So if Gordon, I mean, both don't have a game in 30. Uh, Everton will give you an extra game this week. I'll probably just go Gordon because Broha might just get benched. At least with Gordon, you might just get two starts. And there's a chance that he might just return in one of them. And you might just get lucky. So take that chance and go Gordon probably. Rate my wildcard. It's Ramsdale, Robertson, Trent, Dyer, Saiz, Martinelli, Saka, Son, Salah, Wang, Kane. I mean, it looks like this wildcard. With this wildcard, you're not planning to play a free hit in 30. Ramsdale, Robertson, Trent, really good. I would probably go for a Doherty if you can, if money is not a problem. I think Dyer is 4.5, Doherty is 4.7, something around that. Let's just quickly check it. Dyer is 4.6. I mean, Doherty, if you can get that 0.2 million, you know, he's absolutely worth that money. Maybe downgrade size to a 8 Nuri, or maybe downgrade size to a Kilman. I know size looks like the most nailed, but I mean, the upgrade that you're getting from Dyer to a Doherty is massive, right? So I'll probably make that. Martinelli, Saka, Son, Salah. I mean, I don't have to double up on the Arsenal midfield. I mean, it's a good differential to be honest, but I can probably go Kulusevski if you can get in the money from somewhere. You don't really have to go Pickford. I'm not sure why Pickford isn't there. Everton are not keeping clean sheets. I don't think so. They will. Also, I won't go for Cody. I won't go for Saiz and Cody both. So I'll probably, if I'm on a wildcard, one of my defenders could be a Marty from Leicester who gives me an fixture in 30 and who's also cheap, right? I know that a Marty could be at a risk of rotation if Fofana returns, and that could be a possibility very soon. But if I'm just willing to save some money, and I will in this case, I can easily get those Dyer to Doherty, Martinelli maybe to a Kulisevsky, those sort of moves. I'm not still not sure about Martin to Kulisevsky because the money is a lot. But I'll probably downgrade Pickford to a Foster. I mean, I'll save money here. I don't have to spend this much money on a second keeper, and with that, I can get Martinelli to a Kulisevsky, which could be a better and a bigger upgrade. I mean, I'm okay keeping Wang, but in general, this would be my different moves. Wish you to start Rudiger, Jimenez, Broha. I'll start Rudiger and Jimenez. Start Jimenez or Broha, Jimenez. Start Rafinha, Coutinho. That's a tricky one. I will back Coutinho. Sorry, I mean it's coming as Rafinha, right? Because he's facing Norwich, and I have to probably convince my head that Coutinho might just do well against a slightly tougher West Ham. My mind says Rafinha, but the heart says Coutinho, and that's just where I am at the moment. And I mean, both are really good options. But yeah, a more practical opinion would be going for Rafinha against Norwich. But I mean, Coutinho could still do well. I mean, oh man, it's actually tough. I'll still back personal backing. Is Coutinho. I think I'll definitely back Coutinho. Lacazette just needs one penalty, and I mean, yeah, he just needs one penalty. He would be on pens, could be getting in bonus as well, considering how he's creating chances and how much goal involvement he'll be having in those games for Arsenal. Because he will be spraying a lot of balls, a lot of passes to a Saka, to a Martinelli up top, and I think it could be decent. You're not using a free hit in 30, fair enough. Staying clear of non-top 6 teams in future double game weeks. Burned by King, I mean, yeah. King, Dennis, Willock, Weghurst, me, Pope. The list is long, as you've said, Savio. I mean, I can feel the pain of going for Willock and Fraser's giving those, I think, 15 points. He scored something like 15 or something like that. I mean, no, I don't remember exactly, but it was a big burn. Yeah, difficult to go for these teams because there's not enough consistency in terms of their performance, in terms of their results in and out, and a lot of teams have, especially when we talk about FPL, a lot of teams have options, or a lot of teams have players spread across, giving them giving the teams or giving managers shared returns or spread returns, if you understand what I'm saying. There's not a single player who will be crazily going on and giving you returns in and out, day in, day out. But it's just how it is. Like your graphics. Thank you so much, Clint. Really, really appreciate that. You should do check out some of our videos as well. I think you'll love the artwork there as well. Thank you so much. Van Dijk update. He's not trained. No confirmation from Klopp. I don't think so. We will get any confirmation. So that's what it is. If he's missed training, looks like that he would have COVID. Van Dijk generally would not miss training for Liverpool. That is absolutely certain. I'm in a bench pool. Should I? I won't bench pool. I won't take so many hits. I mean, I understand Van Dijk for Robertson, but if you're already on a -12, probably just wait for a little bit more information. I don't like the idea of a -16 on a bench boost, because you're taking a lot of hits for your bench players to perform, or your, let's say, if you are keeping a few of your single game week players on the bench, and then you're investing a lot of money for a double game weekers, then I still understand that decision. I'll probably make that move, because I don't think so we will be getting any more information about Van Dijk, to be honest. uh Still there could be some time. 4:30 is the deadline, 4:30 IST, so 1 hour to go in terms of the deadline. We still might get some more information, some early news about about Van Dijk out with COVID. So probably just wait for some more time. But in case if you don't get any information in the next half an hour or so, maybe even 40 minutes, then just make that move. Bench one, Denier, Saiz, Jimenez, Broha. I will probably bench. I'll probably bench Denier. Has a tough fixture against West Ham. West Ham could score. News coming in, David Gea. I mean, I was just reading that tweet from the United Stand that David Gea is ill. Henderson to start. Kane captain looks really tempting. I mean, yeah, it is looking tempting. I just want to resist that temptation. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Kane looks a lot better now. Does he? I mean, David De Gea definitely the better keeper, bang in form, doing really well for United. Dean Henderson could be rusty. He's not played in a long time. Yeah, I just don't want to entertain that thought. 1 hour to go. Let's see. Let's see. Livramento, sorry, to Doherty or Ramsey to Kulusevski. I'll do the Ramsey to Kulusevski move. It's a huge upgrade. If I can do both, I'll do both. Both look really good. Even if it's for a hit, Livramento. If you're taking a hit for Doherty as well, I mean, it's well worth it. Thinking of swapping Silva for Reguilon. Hi Nigel. First of all, your team as always is Ramsdale, Trent, Rudiger, Schär, Silva. Midfield is Rafinha, Salah, Fraser. I hate Fraser. Saka, Kulusevski. Forward is Kane. Subs are Sa, Dennis, Broha, Digne, one free transfer, 0.2 million in the bank. Thinking of swapping Silva for Reguilon. Looks good. I mean, Reguilon or probably Doherty. I mean, I understand why would you want to go for Reguilon, because Sessegnon is injured. Reguilon is expected to start, but Doherty is just a different beast in that position, right? Because he also used to play the same position for Wolves as well. I think a lot of us are forgetting that information, and he used to do really well. So I generally feel Doherty would be that solution that Conte is looking for in terms of his attacking wingbacks, because I mean, Emerson Royal has been so bad. He's been so bad that probably Conte doesn't even have a lot of choices, a lot of options, right? I'll probably just. I mean, I'm okay taking out Silva, but I won't do it for Reguilon. I'll probably do it for Doherty, but that's just me. If you feel Reguilon is more nailed, he's probably gonna get more minutes. Then you go for him as well. Um, Hey, should I get in Kulusevski for Rafinha for a -4, even if I already have Son in my team? Or do I do a -8 to bring in Kulusevski, Doherty, Kane for Son? I won't do the -8 for sure. Kane to Son, not too sure. Sai Jimenez both have a decent picture with Everton. I mean, Kulusevski to Rafinha might hurt you this week because Rafinha is facing Norwich. But I think overall in the long run, I think Kulusevski is definitely going to outscore Rafinha. So if you're okay with that, even for a hit, I mean, it's fine. I personally won't do it for my own team, but in case if you are looking for a long term fixture, because both of them have a game in 30, right? So with this move, you're not really getting an additional player for 30. You might be getting a fixture this week, but Norwich is still I mean, I personally won't do it. But if I have to do one of the options, I'll probably go with the -4 rather than the -8. Jimenez, Weghorst, and Broha. Start two. I will start Jimenez and Weghorst. Both are more nailed than Broha. Fixture wise, I think Jimenez has the best fixture. Weghorst against Brentford could be decent as well, but I'll probably start Jimenez and Weghorst for sure. Start Shar or Rudiger. I will start. I mean, Shar has had an injury mark or something like that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm not sure whether he's fit to play. He has Chelsea and Everton. Everton looks good. Chelsea could be tricky. Hmm. I'll still back the double game week. I want to back Rudiger, but Shar with the extra fixture. But again, with that injury, tricky. I'll still start Shar. I mean, Rudiger doesn't really have a lot of goal threat anyway. He's mostly a 6 pointer most weeks. So yeah. Start Broha, Weghorst for sure. Havertz or Kulusevski? I think I will start Kulusevski. Should I sell Jota for a -4? I already have Martinelli, Coutinho, and Kulusevski. Suggest some name if yes. I mean, you can sell Jota for a hit. I'm not sure how much money you have. So depending on your money, I mean, you can take a call. You already have Martinelli, you have Coutinho, you have Kulusevski. You can get Saka in. That's a very strong differential. I mean, Saka's not a differential. I'll correct myself there. But Saka could really give you some nice points this week, plus a fixture in 30 as well. So he's one option. I would not want to go for a Gordon, for a hit. I mean, you don't have to. You can go for a Madison or a Barnes, maybe Barnes, but it's not a priority transfer this week. So I think the only option that I would probably go for in that, if money is an issue or if you have similar money, I think Jota is how much? Jota has to be 7 something. Let's see. Let's just quickly see. So Jota is 8.3. Okay. So he's 8.3. In that you can get to a Havertz. Won't do it for a hit this week. I mean, Saka looks like the best option to go for. I won't even go to a Man City mid, especially for a hit. They don't have doubles, etc. Yeah, I mean won't go for Rafinha. Would definitely get Saka. And if I have to do it, I'll get Saka in. When is the best game week to use free hit and wildcard? I mean, there's no best game week to use your free hit and wildcard. It is actually very team dependent. You'll have to look at your team. If you want to change players that you don't like, I mean, like from an FPL perspective, of course. If you're not happy with certain players, let's say about 6 to 7 players are definitely on your chopping block. You don't have enough double game week players this week. You don't even have a proper squad, or you falling short of players in game week 30. Then I think it's a great time to use your wildcard this week. It's still not bad. 33 could be a better game week because the fixtures would turn. There'll be a lot of teams that you would probably not want, like teams like Leeds, Villa, Wolves. These are teams that you might not want players from. And if you want to get off these players, a wildcard in 33 looks really good. It would be a double game week, maybe about 8 to 10 teams double in that particular week. So that could be a good time for a wildcard. I think free hit, depending on how many if you have 2 free hits available, then this week a free hit also could be a decent option to go for. 33 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I don't like the free hit in 30 because there's not a lot of upside to catch or to take advantage of in 30, because there are only I think 4 fixtures in game week 30. Yeah, there are 4 fixtures in game week 30. Most of the teams or most of the players that you will have are facing each other, so you're not really going to get a lot of FPL points in any way. The average number of players that week is going to be a lot lower. There's not a lot of gains that you can have, so don't like the free hit in 30. 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I think 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits. I mean, 35 and 36 are also good options for free hits but I think 33 and 36 are good options. Wildcard this week, if your team is in a bad shape, 33 could be two options as well. I mean, 31 is also an option, but I like 33 more because of the double game week there. I think Rafinha just lost some appeal with the return on Bamford, who might take pens. I mean, Rafinha was getting all bogey penalties, but yeah, those bogey penalties were giving us points. So he could lose some appeal in terms of not being on penalties, but on the other hand, he could also gain some appeal, right? Because with Bamford coming in, I think Leeds are missing a finisher or somebody who can really finish in on the attacking front. Uh, their final ball is lacking. Their finishing is lacking. A lot of times, even if Rafinha plays a good ball or creates a chance, there's no way to kind of finish there, right? And if Bamford returns, he's definitely a better finisher than a Rodrigo, for example, or a James, for example. And Rafinha might just have additional assist appeal, right? Which he's probably not having right now. So I mean, if you look at Rafinha as an option, Bamford coming in has flip sides, has both sides, has the plus to it, has negatives to it as well. So I can't just say that he's lost all appeal. I mean, or some appeal. I mean, he would have gained certain appeal as well. So, but yeah, your point is absolutely right that he might not be on penalties. So there you are absolutely bang on. Goalkeeper is Ramsdale, Trent, Rudiger, Doherty looks really good. Rafinha, Salah, Son, Saka, Kulusevski, Broha, Lacazette. I mean, it's a good team. It's missing Kane, but you have Son and Doherty to cover it up, so it's decent option. DCL to or Richarlison. I mean, if I have to go for one, I don't want to go for any of them. But if I really have to go for one, I mean, Richarlison's been playing, but he's not been scoring at all. DCL came back, played 68 minutes, didn't really look that great at all. I'll probably still say Richarlison because he's been playing a fair few amount of games, and Calvert-Lewin is just returning from injury. I still won't go for both. Even as a punt, I'll probably go punt on Gordon, but I understand the midfield spots are quite premium at the moment, so you might not want to invest that one spot on a cheaper Everton midfielder. I mean, no disrespect to any Everton fans or anyone who follows Everton, it just doesn't feel the right team to invest your FPL players in. Cancelo will start. Could miss the game. There are chances that he could miss the game. Play Livramento, Broha. I'll play Broha. Start Cancelo, Jimenez. I mean, I would definitely lean towards Jimenez. Everton defensively look really vulnerable at the moment. Fraser or Broha. I'll start Fraser. Livramento to Doherty or Ramsey to Kulusevski for a -8 or only one transfer, and which one? I I mean, I like both, to be honest. Livramento to Doherty looks really good. Doherty gives you one game extra in 30 as well, which Livramento might not. Southampton have really fallen off the cliff, especially in the last game week, right? It was a very shocking performance across both games because they conceded a fair amount of goals, fair amount of chances. Anyways, they were not really keeping any clean sheets, but I mean, I'll do both. If I'm okay taking that additional hit, I think long term this will be really good. But in case, let's say that's of course my opinion. But in case if you just want to do one, I'll probably do Ramsey to Kulusevski. I think that's a greater upgrade as compared to. I mean, Livramento Doherty is also a good upgrade, but I'll probably just go for the attacker. But personally, I'll do both transfers. What do you think of triple captain Salah this week? I like it. A lot of people are saying Van Dijk, Konate, Thiago, all these players missing could lessen the appeal, but I really like it. I don't see there will be a better option, a better FPL option, a better FPL attacking team. Maybe City has a double in 36. I think they will have a double in 36. That could be a decent double, but we don't know what's going to happen to City by that time. I mean, we don't know if City is still fighting for the title. If the title's already secured, there could be some rotation. There could be decent amount of rotation at Man City at that point of time, and you are more likely to screw that or ruin that triple captaincy chip as compared to what you could do now, because Salah against these teams could still do well, right? So I'll definitely play Salah triple captain this week. Should I play? Is that Diaz? Who's Dion? I mean, am I missing some name? Let's see. That'll be really, really awkward. Oh no, I think it has to be Diaz. I'm not sure. Should I play Diaz or take a hit for Kulusevski? I'll play Kulusevski. Play Kilman over Ramsey. I'll play Kilman over Ramsey, yes. Missed tries annoyingly. Can't do Bowen, Alonso, Broha to Kane, Doherty, Kulu. That's not great. -8, have to take out Cancelo instead. I mean, I'll still do it. Cancelo might not start this week, misses the game, or doesn't have a game in 30. And you can always get him back in 31, right? If the Spurs train is not working for you, you can, of course, get Cancelo back. So I know that you would have probably spread your cash a little bit, so then the Doherty to Cancelo move would be tricky, but I'll still do it. I mean, you have the cash cow as Alonso, and of course you will need a little bit money to get to a Cancelo, because I think the difference is probably going to be a million, million and a half even, right? So, but I'll probably do it. I'll still do it. Yeah. Cancelo and Shah are both yellow flagged. Start which one? Oh, so Shah has 2 games, so I'll probably start him over Cancelo. I mean, you can still start Cancelo if he misses out. But I don't think so. He's gonna come on as a sub, right? So if he misses out, you anyways probably gonna get Shah from the bench, and so yeah, I mean, starting Cancelo might be okay. Dean Henderson starting today. That's what I hear, and I'm even more scared as a United fan, and not at all happy with what's happening. And it just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? Kulusevski for a -4 or Son for a -8. I'll do Kulusevski for a -4. Mane or Kulusevski. Oh, that's. I mean, it's not fair to compare both considering the price points of both players. But if you're not free hitting in 30, then Kulusevski. But Mane is a great option. I mean, he's a great differential. Kulusevski would still be slightly higher owned. And Tottenham are Tottenham. I mean, they can really, really, mess things up. So you never know what's gonna happen. I like Mane. I won't lie. I really like Mane. I have David De Gea and Foster. I don't feel confident at all. Suggest goalie for a -4. I mean, Ramsdale is a good option, long term pick. So you can probably go there. Would you want to take a hit for a goalkeeper? I mean, because Ramsdale this week doesn't have the greatest of fixtures, so see that and keep that in mind. But I think Ramsdale is looking like the best option to go for. Bench 2 out of Rafinha, Coutinho, Rudiger, and Broha. I will bench Broha and Rudiger. I think I'll start the attackers, Rafinha and Coutinho, in spite of Coutinho having a tough game. Laka for Jimenez for a hit. I might not do it. Might not do it. Jimenez has a game in 30, so you're not getting an additional fixture there. I might. For a hit, I mean, yeah, might not do it. Dinio, Dawson. Oh, interesting. Who do you expect to keep a clean sheet? Maybe nobody, right? I like Digne for his attacking threat. We keep talking about Digne's attacking threat, and he's not returned, or he's not given us any attacking returns at all. Slightly disappointing and frustrating, but that's where we are. Still Digne for sure. Bench 2 out of Rafinha, Coutinho, Rudiger, Broha. As I said already, I'll bench Rudiger and Broha. Ramsdale, Trent, Rudiger, Doherty, Rafinha, Salah, Saka, Coutinho, Kulusevski, Dennis Kane. Confused where to go for Son or Kane. I mean, do you already have Kane in your team, or are you just making this move and then showing it here? I'll definitely go Kane if I have the option, or if that's quite convenient. I mean, Kane looks like the better FPL asset. Also, a better captaincy option in game week 30. Also, a good option this week if you don't want to go Salah captain. So I'll definitely go Kane. Triple captain Salah looking good. I'll do it. Is this a good bench boost? Broha, Saiz, Dubravka, and Coutinho. Dubravka has a double. Saiz has Everton. Broha has Watford. Coutinho has West Ham. Could be better. I mean, you could probably get a better bench. But if you already have the wild card in place, or if you already have the free hit, I mean, could just get rid of the bench boost and probably just plan your wild card without investing too much money on your bench. So I might be worth doing it. Or you could, you could wait for 36 as well. I mean, see, we keep saying that you could wait for 36 for a lot of things, but what is going to happen in 36 we really don't know. I mean, which are the teams that would be fighting for relegation at that moment? I think that could be a little more certain. What are the teams that are in top 4? What are the other teams doing? Is the title race still on? There's so many unknowns there, right? So if you have a decent bench, which looks like a decent bench to me, I mean, worth taking a shot. Depends on your wildcard. If you don't have your wildcard available, then maybe wait. If you have your wildcard available, you probably use it now and build your wildcard team without investing money on your bench so that you can have a stronger 11. Plans for game week 30, not using my free hit. Plan to get a Leicester mid. Maybe Tony as a hit. I don't like it, but could be could be Adams to Tony and probably Barnes in place of Willock. I mean, that could be the play there. Bench 2 out of Rafinha, Coutinho, Rudiger, and Broha. I think I've answered this. Yes. Rudiger and Broha. I'm answering this for the third time, I think. Uh, Forza Liverpool. Should I start Willock or Weghorst? I'll start Willock. Bench Broha or Rudiger. I'll bench Broha. Bench one of Antonio, Watkins, Dennis, Coutinho, Rafinha. I'll probably bench Dennis out of the lot. Yeah. Not sure. I mean, Watford can score against Southampton, but not sure about Dennis. Rafinha, Gordon on a wild card. I'll go for Gordon. Man United, Tottenham, who will win? Of course, Man United will win. I mean, there is no question about it. I cannot be that certain at all. I mean, it's a tricky thing. I feel Tottenham might just nick it, maybe a 2-1 sort of a game. But I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. It's at home, Spurs away. I mean, Old Trafford is not Old Trafford anymore. If you know what I mean, right? People like teams are not scared to go for wins, go very attacking. Get more of the ball. So I think United might just end up losing this one. Podence or Rafinha? Definitely Rafinha. I think Messi or Ronaldo. I mean, I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I don't hate Messi or I don't dislike Messi. I have huge respect for the guy, but I'm personally a Ronaldo fan. Any news on Van Dijk? No confirmed news yet. Let's just quickly see if we have anything. Nah, I don't think we'll have any more confirmed information. We might have a leaked lineup, but right now we don't have anything. Yeah. Cancelo to Doherty. Cancelo to Doherty. Son to Kulusevski. Edouard to Kane. I like all the moves. Does it mean that you will be taking a -8? I'll probably take that -8. Cancelo to Doherty. Son to Kulusevski. I mean, I'm not sure. Are you taking a -4 or a -8 for this? Cancelo to Doherty looks really good. Edouard to Kane looks really good, but I don't think so. You'll have the money. I mean, you'll have to probably take a hit for Son to Kane, and that is something that I'm not too comfortable doing. Is a -4 for Son a good choice? Depends on who are you transferring out. I think it's a good option if you're, letting go of a Bruno, for example, or a Bowen, for example, someone like that. Depending on of course your budget and your team structure. Your final team is Ramsdale, Trent, Rudiger, Doherty. Looks good. Rafinha, Salah, Saka, Coutinho, Kulusevski. Dennis Kane. Dennis Kane with changes done. Cancelo to Doherty, Son. I mean, I personally wouldn't have done it for a hit, but if you, it's a long-term switch anyways. I'm sure you're gonna have Kane for the longer run. Plus, he's a better captaincy option in 30, so overall could be okay. But this week I probably wouldn't have done it. We have time to let's take a little review from you about PSG versus Real. I mean, the way PSG was playing in the first leg, it looked like the tie could have been over in the first leg itself, right? And even when they scored uh, first, it looked like it's gonna be a tough game or a tough comeback for Real. But I mean, Benzema, oh my God, what a player! What a player! Like, that was absolutely class from that striker, guys. I mean, it's just so frustrating, and I get this a lot from people who are not Madrid fans or people who are not really fans of Benzema or who don't really rate him as a highest or a good striker. But he's probably one of the most underrated strikers, who's active in the game right now. He still doesn't get the same amount of recognition that he should, considering how well he's played. Of course, he was greatly overshadowed by Ronaldo when both of them shared their time at Madrid. But I think after Ronaldo has left, he has been really good for Madrid. I think he's getting a lot of goals. He's taken up that mantle, right, of scoring goals for Madrid and winning games. But you know, players like Modric, players like Benzema, yes, they have gotten old now. But what class, what a comeback from Madrid. I mean, that's what that's what you need in these Champions League games, right? You get more often than not every season or every year you get one of these games where there are these crazy comebacks where one of them was when Ajax lost, the other one was when Barcelona won against PSG. So you have these kind of comebacks, you have these kind of games where which are really good from a spectacle, from a neutral perspective, at least somebody like me who's not a PSG fan or a Madrid fan. I think that was a great game to watch. And the way Madrid clawed back and that comeback was really really special. I think one of the most special nights in recent memory in terms of the Champions League games. And I think both them would have deserved to go through, but yeah, disheartening for PSG. And I think that's the last straw in Pochettino's career as a PSG coach. I think has he been sacked yet? I'm not sure. I've not followed the news there. I don't think so. But yeah, he's I think he's definitely gonna get sacked. I mean, there is no chance that he stays manager for PSG for a longer time, I think. And the worst part is that I've been reading about rumors that United is probably willing to sign him, and then it just gets worse. Ramsdale, Digne, Robertson, Doherty, Son, Gordon, Sancho, Salah, Saka, Adams, Weghorst like the team. Um, wouldn't really change too much. I mean, I don't know if you have a better option than Digne to play this week, but yeah, I mean, decent. F in the chat. F. What do you mean by F? As no testing televised in India, currently watching it on Twitch along with the stream. I mean, yeah. What's happening today though? No, haven't been following what's happening today. We have some time, so we can probably. Yeah, the side pod update from Mercedes was really interesting. I think we just lost the stream for a second there. Yes, I was just checking what's happening in the F1 testing, and I think we'll talk about it a little later. But yeah, not being televised. I think that it should be televised. I don't think so. It has the audience or the required audience. But after what happened last season, or especially with the Drive to Survive also kind of coming in on Netflix, I think events like these should be televised. Start to of Broha, Jimenez, or Weghorst. I'll start Jimenez and Weghorst. I have Sa, Jimenez, Broha, and Saiz. Should I bench boost? I mean, both of them are good against Everton. I probably won't. I have Sa, Jimenez, Broha. That's triple up on. If so, it's really very heavy on one team, right? And if Bulls don't perform against Everton, your whole bench boost goes for a toss. I probably won't bench boost this team. Your second team is Ramsdale. How many teams do you have, man? Uh, Ramsdale, Trent, Rudiger, Doherty, Rafinha, Salah, Saka, Son, Kulusevski, Dennis, Lacazette, with changes done. Cancelo to Doherty, Coutinho to Kulusevski, Edouard to Lacazette. I like these changes a lot more personally, but yeah. Chelsea with the same Madrid team last season to which PSG lost to come on. I mean, yeah, Chelsea were really, really tactically very strong when they played against Madrid last year, and they didn't give Madrid a chance at all. I mean, they dominated Real Madrid, and Real Madrid was really they really came out to be a very average team and clearly the second best team in those two ties. PSG again with players like Neymar, Mbappe, Messi now. There's just too much ego to manage there. I mean, of course they are the overconfident. Uh, they have lofty ambitions. They have high ambitions. They have the players to do it. They've got some really good signings, but I think they just lost the plot there. I mean, that is where experience really counts, right? And it didn't come off and didn't rub off in the right way. I would still put the blame on Pochettino as well because I don't think so. Pochettino is a character or has the personality to manage players like Messi or Neymar, Mbappe in the same team. So yeah, I mean yeah, PSG defense too overconfident, making silly mistakes, making mistakes which you don't expect from a team like PSG. So yes, they were. I think they took Madrid a little bit lightly. I mean they weren't really expecting the way they dominated the first. Of course, let's say if we don't talk about just the result, just how the way they dominated Madrid in the first game. They probably thought it's gonna be a win, especially after getting that first goal. But that's what you get on Champions League, and that's what you get with the Madrid team, right? They don't give up till the end, and that's what showed in that game as well. Play Shar, Jimenez, or Coutinho. If I have to play just one, I'll play Coutinho over Jimenez, and then I'll play Shar. Yeah, I mean Coutinho, Jimenez, Shar. Shar has a double game week. I mean, I can still play Shar as a double. So in fact take a chance with Shar as a double. So it'll be Shar, Coutinho, or him and Jimenez in that order. Donnarumma thought that he was prime Messi in goal and he was trying to dribble the ball out. I mean, yeah, you don't do that. I mean, of course, I'm not derating Indian football or football in India at all. But when we also play, or when I played as a kid, because I played across my school, college teams and in my university teams as well. That was the first thing that we were taught as a defender and a keeper that you don't dribble the ball in these positions, right? Even if you're playing DM and if you're in a very tough spot by which or through which the opponent team can easily counter you or can take the ball and then can easily score on the first opportunity, you don't do that. You try to play it safe. You try to play out the ball as soon as you can, and you get yourself out of danger, which didn't happen there. So yeah, I mean those are basics of football, right? Maybe the occasion got to him. Maybe he was just being too cocky about taking the Madrid attackers and yes, he messed up. Plans for game week 30. No wildcard. Don't like my team for 30 to be honest. I would have preferred. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can get to a Barnes and a Ivan Tony if I take out Adams and Willock. I have some cash in the bank as well, so that's probably gonna be my plan. But let's see. Thoughts on Consider to Robertson? I like it. I'll do it. Really good move. Gives you a good fixture, extra fixture this week. Both of them are not playing in 30. Both of them could be good options in 31 as well. I like it. I like the additional fixture for Robertson. Play Jimenez or Livramento. I'll play Livramento. Who to play, Jimenez or Broha? I will. Yeah, I'll definitely play Jimenez. Dundee. Yeah. Benching a four-time UCL winner Navas. I mean, that's the tricky thing, right? You Man, man, what keeps happening? I lost the stream again. Damn. I hope I'm back. I did lose the stream for a second. This just keeps happening, or this is happening today probably. Uh, but yeah, Navas not playing. You would have expected, him to start, considering that he has the experience, and Donnarumma is comparatively newer at this stage. He's still a very young keeper. Navas has probably reached his prime, and should have been the better option to go for. And I think he's absolutely furious he didn't start, right. I mean, he would have not liked not starting, especially with how Donnarumma, or what kind of error he did. Yeah, it's gonna get trickier with the Navas situation, I'm pretty sure. And Pochettino has to handle one more tough situation, which I don't think so he should, or he is capable of handling. And there's, again, I mean, Navas could also even exit from PSG, right? I mean, they're good clubs that might just sign him as a, maybe not even a backup keeper, maybe as a number one keeper. Thoughts about Chelsea situation? It's getting worse with the political issue. I mean, yes, it is getting worse. Yes, it is really sad with what's happening with the club. You don't expect something like that to happen to a top club like Chelsea, especially with how Abramovich has built Chelsea from ground up, ground zero. I I, I don't like what's happening. Of course, I understand the sanctions and I understand everything that's been happening, but it's just sad to see a great club, getting hampered with the whole political situation. But I mean, yes, of course, that's one aspect of the thing, but there are other things that are really worse at the moment. And I think it's gonna be fine. I think, not sure what's the latest there. Let's see if we have any. Yeah, I did read about. Yeah, I did read about the club. The credit cards being blocked and all of that stuff, and the club not having enough money for uh, fuel in their buses for matches and all that stuff. I don't know how real and how true was that, but yeah, I mean, Tuchel has been handling it pretty well. Maybe if it was a different manager, I think, yeah, he could have probably bottled it up. But I think Tuchel has really, really handled the situation pretty well. But I think it's gonna, as far as I remember reading last night, I'm not sure if it's legit official news, but I think the UK government has sanctioned the sale of Chelsea by Roman Abramovich, which might make things okay. Might, yeah, could be okay. You have Egos, Broha, Jimenez, and I can play only two. If I start Willock, what should I do? I mean, you start Willock for sure, and you probably start out of the two. Uh, so if you are saying that you can only start one of them along with Willock, then it has to be Jimenez. If you can start two with Willock, then it has to be Jimenez and Weghorst. Is Van Dijk playing today? Doesn't look like it. Still seeing if we can get any more information on the. There is some predicted lineups in by the Anfield watch. Let's just see if we can get anything regarding her. So the predicted back four is Allison, Trent, Matip. Yeah, Van Dijk is predicted to start, but I'm not sure. Andy Robertson as well. Yeah, not sure, not sure. No confirmed news that Van Dijk is out. That's for sure. You can get rid of Van Dijk. You can get to a Robertson. I mean, who's more nailed to start. But if even if Van Dijk has COVID, he probably would be out for 31. More, not beyond that. Doherty or Martinelli? I like Doherty considering that he has a double good attacking upside as well. Chance of a clean sheet. I don't think that they will keep a clean sheet, but there's a slight chance that the clean sheet could happen. Both of the players give you a game in 30, so that's good. If you want to start one, I think I'll definitely start Doherty this week. Chelsea can be still sold to new ownership, yes. As UK government has given them a green light, a sale could happen in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, it takes time to settle in the sale, anyways. Even from a financial perspective, and looking at other things as well, it'll generally take a lot of time. But yeah, I think the sale would happen. I mean, if they get the right buyer, etc., with at the right price, I think the sale is definitely going to happen. Is Van Dijk playing today or not? Not sure, man. I mean, if I had a confirmation, I would have probably given you a confirmation, but I don't. So he was missing in training and he has not trained. Klopp mentioned, see, people are never going to mention that which players have COVID. They generally don't. So you won't get information whether he has COVID or not. We could get a leaked lineup maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. If you don't get it in the next 10 minutes, I mean, if you can afford to bench Van Dijk and play the other players, then go for that. If not, then you could do the transfer to a Robertson, for example. Salah triple captain, I like it. In spite of things getting a bit tricky for Liverpool, if the couple of their players are, COVID hit, still feel that's a good move. Still feel it's the best. With whatever information is available right now, I still feel it's the best week to triple captain Salah or triple captain a player. Future triple captain options could arise in 33, 36, but we just don't know what's going to happen then. So I'll probably just stick to Salah triple captain this week. Antonio Jimenez, I'll definitely start Jimenez out of the two. Looks like the better option. Playing a much weaker Everton defense as opposed to Villa, who have kept, I think Villa have kept 2 or 3 clean sheets in the last 3 games. Defensively, they've been really good. Cash, again, one of those 50-50 calls, right? Where I got Denier instead of Cash, and I did really bad there. Yeah, so Villa has kept 4 clean sheets now. Consecutive 4 clean sheets. So they're looking good. I'd definitely play Jimenez. Replace 8 Nouri to which defender? Already have Trent, Cancelo, Livramento, Doherty, and 0.7 in the bank. You cannot get to a Chelsea defender. You can get to an Arsenal defender. I'm not sure whether how many players from Arsenal do you have, but depending on 8 Nouri is 4.3, 4.4, something like that. Keeping gaming 30 in mind. So if you have to keep gaming 30 in mind, then I think getting in a white is also a decent option. I mean, it's not the worst call. He's not going to give you any attacking upside. 8 Nouri could still do well, could still outscore white if he starts, considering that he starts, because there is a chance that he might not start. But with injuries to Semedo and Hover, I think 8 Nouri is pretty much nailed. Yeah. The only option I can think of, a decent option, is probably you won't have the money for a Gabriel, for example. So white is the only decent option. Won't go for Tierney. Is expensive and is not looking that great in attack. Finally, team confirmed. Ramsdale defense is Trent, Rudiger, Doherty, Rafinha, Salah, Saka, Son, Kulusevski. Forwards are Dennis, Lacazette, badly missing Kane. I mean, yeah, Kane is a big miss, but Son and Kulusevski plus Doherty, I think it's decent. Any reason to wildcard uh, Robertson over Kane? I mean, Robertson looks like a good. First of all, I don't expect Salah to miss both games, not at all. Of course, I can sit here and say that everybody's captaining Kane. Maybe some people will vice captain Kane, so I'll try to be all smart here and go for Robertson, etc. Nothing like that. Just that, just feel Liverpool have a good set of games. In case if the injury is confirmed, if Van Dijk's definitely out, I'll probably change the vice captaincy to Kane. This has been the plan all throughout. But if Liverpool's defensive, if the clean sheets, expected clean sheets those numbers kind or those chances kind of come down, I might just do Kane vice captaincy. Not sure if it's gonna make a huge difference because Salah is expected to start at least one game, if not both. So yeah, no specific reason. I'll be honest. I mean, no specific reason. I just felt that Robertson probably, if Robertson plays both games and if Liverpool keep 2 clean sheets, Robertson could outscore Kane. That is a possibility. Or reloaded with Arsenal. I mean, Amati could be an option, but would you really want to go Amati or a Leicester defender? Maybe not. Who else can you go for? Let's see. So, 8 Nuri is 4.4. I'm assuming 4.4, 4.3 would be the price that you would have bought him at. And with point 0.8, I think that's what you have in bank. Point 0.7. So let's assume that you have around about 5 million in the bank. I can't see a lot of options in that price range. I mean, you could go for a cash, for example, but Villa has a tough game. They generally have tough fixtures. Can they continue their clean sheet run? Not too sure. You would not. You would not want to double. I'm not sure whether you have a. Yeah, so you already have Doherty, so you would not want to double up on the Spurs defense as well. Doesn't look doesn't look all right. I mean, you would not want to invest. Yeah, I mean, I probably won't make that move. Won't make any moves. If you are not getting to an Arsenal defender, I think no point of making that move. Looks like a luxury transfer. Let's take FPL by storm and start a movement. I mean, of course we can do that. That'll be fun. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Saka must have. I think so. I think so. If you are not planning to free hit in 30, and if you're looking at an Arsenal player, an Arsenal attacker, I think he's the best option to have. His ownership is going to be quite high. He's already been hurting my rank since last week, and that could continue. But I mean, Martinelli to Saka for a hit just doesn't look right. Bad managerial error, but would it be worth the minus 12 taken to triple captain Salah this week? I mean, he can definitely give you those extra 12 points, uh, but just don't see that. Just see the fixtures. If you feel the fixtures are good for Salah, if he can score, I think he can. I think he can set you up and make you revive those 12 points. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably still do it, irrespective of whether you've taken a minus 12 or not. I think that's the right move to do. Triple captain Salah, yes, I think that's the right move to do. Bench 2 out of Rafinha, Coutinho, Rudiger, and Broha. I will bench. I think I've answered this question. This question keeps coming on the chat. Yes, I have answered this question. It's if I have to bench two, I'll bench Rudiger and Broha. Bench two out of Rafinha, Coutinho. Two out of Rafinha, Coutinho. God, guys, don't spam the same questions, please. I've already answered this. Start Broha or Jolinton? I'll start Broha. Not sure on Jolinton at all, to be honest. Great, guys. 15 minutes to go. Do let me know if you have any more questions or if we can answer uh, any questions that you have. What have you got on the back of this shirt? I don't have anything right now. I want to get my name. My name is Vaibhav, and I've played football for a very very long time, and I've been a part of my school teams, my college teams, my post graduation teams, etc. And I always used to play. So I started playing as a winger. I went into playing as a number 10, and then I finally ended up being a defender for being a wing back or a right back for a long time. Of course, I could play on the right and the left both. I had 25 as my number, and I really wanted to get that printed on the back of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too huge on any specific players, to be very honest. I've never had you know player jerseys, to be honest. I've been a United fan through and throughout, but I've never really liked to. Of course, I had the Beckham jersey, and I've had a couple of other jerseys as well when I was a kid. But I would have loved to, or I would probably love to, get my name at the back with the number 25. The last time, or the last league that I played in, which was at my graduation level, post graduation level, I played as a winger or a free role, and I was the captain of the team, and I had number 7 as my jersey. So I would love to have 7 as well. White and Rafinha to Saka and Doherty. I'll White and Rafinha, Saka and Doherty. I mean, I'll probably do it. Saka is the better option. Doherty is still the better option. Yeah, I'll probably do it. Ramsey to Kulusevski or Kilman to Doherty. I will. Ramsey to Kulu looks like a better move. Both of them are decent options, but I think Ramsey to Kulusevski is a better move. You think Mount will play also? Whom among Che Adams and Rafinha should I play this week? Definitely Rafinha among both. And I think Mount, I think there's a high chance that Mount and Havertz they could get rested. So yeah, that's that. Can you wear a shirt backwards? No, I won't. Mount will play. Not sure. I mean, there are chances that he can get benched. I mean, that won't be. He looks like the most nailed option, so you would expect him to start. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance that he can get benched as well. Yeah, I played as a winger for a long time, and then started playing as a number 10. The story was actually very funny. When I was in college, there was this particular match that we had to win. It was at the college level, and we were playing. It was a knockout game, and one of our defenders, one of our star defenders, or one of the main players that we had in our team, he got injured, and he couldn't play. And there were no proper substitutes or not enough or decent defenders because I was decent at tackling always. And then my coach actually asked me to play as a center back, and it was so weird, it was so scary, it was so freaky because it was a knockout game. It was not like a local league or like a league game or a season long league game where the result didn't really matter a lot. It was like a knockout game, and we were a very good team at that point of time, and we were probably favorites to win that tournament as well. And I did start playing as a center back, played a few games as a center back, then started playing shift towards the outside, and started playing as a fullback as well. But I kept shifting after that. And during my post graduation, I was always like a center back. I was good at organizing the defense. I was good at checking the line. I was good at holding the position really well, and that's where the defensive journey kind of started. Son in place of Bruno, I'll like that. I think it's a good move. Is Cancelo fit to start? Nothing official again, but yeah, good. Let's see what Pep said. Let me just see if we have anything official. I mean, good start, but if I have an option to bench him, I'll probably bench him. Yeah. Yeah, so there are doubts over his fitness. Could be tricky. If I have him, I'll probably just play him because if he doesn't start, I don't think so. He'll come up from the bench. So you can anyways get somebody who's on your bench in your playing 11. James out, Tierney in. I have Doherty. I'm not a big fan of Tierney. Sorry, has just hasn't looked the right player or the best player in attack in terms of their defenders. If you are making this move for game week 30 or to keep game week 30 in mind, if you're not playing a free hit, then I'll probably do White instead of Tierney. I mean, you could probably just save in money. Both of them are not really returning anything, so you can just probably save in some money and get in White. Rafinha or King, I'll go for. I think King is injured. Not sure. There was some injury concern with him, but anyways, I'll play Rafinha here. Is it worth to do Rafinha to Saka for a hit? I mean, this game week it could be really good, but Rafinha could still match Saka, if not outscore him. But for a hit, long term move as well. I mean, Leeds. Let's just quickly see what Leeds have in terms of their fixtures. Uh, so they have Norwich, Wolves, Southampton, Watford. Arsenal has a double this week. Then Villa, Palace, Brighton, Southampton, United, West Ham. I mean, long term, you probably are okay holding Rafinha, but Saka has been really, really good this season, right? So I'll probably, even if it's for a hit, I'll make that move. But yeah, not 100% sold on it, but it's just the way how Saka has been playing so far. I'll probably make the move. Yeah. Great. Guys, make sure that you save your teams. Make sure that you save your transfers. Make your transfers now. Save your captains as well. Let me just quickly see if my team is in order. I'll probably shift the vice captaincy to Kane. Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to make a huge difference, but let's do that. So it's Ramsdale, White, Trent, Robertson, and Rudiger. Coutinho, Willock, Martinelli, Salah, Rafinha, Kane as the 11. Adams, Dinia, King on the bench. Sanchez as on the bench as well. Fraser, Broha, I'll go for Fraser. 5 more minutes to go, guys. Make sure that you hit the like button if you've not hit that like button so far, guys. Really, really important. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well if you've not done that. If you like what you saw today, if you like the stream, and I was able to answer some of your questions, at least give you some clarity of thought or help you in this process of selecting the best players for the double game week and for your FPL team. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. In general, I just feel it's. I hope it's gonna be. I mean, looking at the transfers for Saka, Saka is 30% owned now. 7 lakh transfers for Saka. That's just. I mean, his ownership is gonna skyrocket this week. Kulusevski as well. He has 10% ownership. I think his effective ownership in the top 10K is gonna be very high. Doherty is 7% ownership. A lot of transfers for these guys. Kane is also now 20% owned. Son is 22. I'm a little scared if Tottenham really blow up. If they really, really blow up, I mean, it's probably going to be a little scary because we just have Kane as the Tottenham cover. But let's see. I mean, Coutinho and Rafinha could still do well. So let's see. Fraser, Broha, I think I did answer this, but anyways, I'll start Fraser, start Wang or Broha. I will start Wang. I mean, Wang is not nailed, so I'll probably start. I mean, Broha is also not nailed. Not sure whether he starts every game. I'll probably still take a chance with Wang or against Everton. Doherty, Son, and Kulusevski are enough to cover off Kane. I mean, they should be, unless Kane really goes there and scores like a 30 pointer, which could happen. But I think Doherty, Son, and Kulusevski, I think are there enough to cover off Kane. Yeah. There's a couple of more minutes to go. So, in case if you have any more questions, please feel free to add those in the chat, in the comments. And thank you so much to everybody who tuned in today to become a part of the stream, to come on the stream and help us with the deadline stream. Thank you so much for your sincere effort as well. Let's just quickly see if we have any more information on from Anfield Watch regarding any leaked lineup. No, I think there's nothing. If you have Van Dijk, I mean, there's merit in selling him for a Robertson, for example. I mean, that's not the worst move at all. Start Thiago Silva or Weghorst. Have Rudiger too. I think I'll start Weghorst. Double up on Chelsea defense might not do it. Rafinha and Foden to Saka and Kulusevski for a -4. I think I'll do it. Longer term looks good. Foden doesn't have a game in 30 as well. If you're not free hitting in 30, then I think it's a really good move. Start Thiago Silva, Weghorst. I've already answered it. I'll start Weghorst plus Rudiger rather than Thiago Silva plus Rudiger. Great guys, I think a couple of more minutes. We'll stick around for maybe 5 odd minutes. So in case if you want to talk about anything, please feel free to add that in the chat. And then we'll wrap it up for the day. We're almost touching 2 hours, something around that. I hope these deadline streams are generally helpful. I think it's really helpful for me as well because there's certain times where you're not really sure about what to do in certain situations, and it just helps me also kind of think again and after talking to all of you guys and then come to that right decision or the right call. Great guys, I think we'll probably call it off for the day. I think probably stay for a couple of more minutes. Make sure that you save your teams, guys. Make sure that you finish your transfers now. I'm not even sure whether the site will still be working. I'm pretty sure it's going to crash very soon if it hasn't so far. So that's that. Let's see. I think it's going to be an interesting week. I think good games. Let's see what's happening with Liverpool and what's happening there in terms of who's going to start, who has COVID. Hopefully Salah doesn't have COVID. Hopefully there are not more cases etc that come in, and hopefully Tottenham stay quiet because I think with only Kane this week in for me, I think I really want Tottenham to stay quiet and not really score a lot of points or a lot of goals, because then I think it's another long week. Let's see. Great. It's fourth. I think it's the deadline, guys. Thank you so much again for joining today. Thank you so much for your time and for your love that you've shown across. I think we'll call it a day, and of course, a lot of matches to go. United is playing today, so pretty excited. A little afraid in terms of what's going to happen there, considering that we might even lose, David De Gea now. That's going to be probably a painful watch. But make sure that you hit like and hit subscribe, guys. Make sure that you also watch the games as many as you can or whenever you get time. Have a good week, and I will see you in Saners next time. Bye bye.